Hey, what's up, guys? Houston here. Look, I'm going to share with you some of the best credit cards you can use to start your own bank. Now, some of you all may be wondering, like, well, why would I even want to start my own bank? The main reason you want to start your own bank so you can have more control over your money and to be able to borrow financial institutions' money without paying any interest on the money, okay? So that you'll be able to do other type of investments to help your money grow. So that's the reason you want to seriously consider starting your own bank. Now, let's talk about some of these financial institutions that give the best credit cards to help you start your own bank. The first one is Chase. Now, Chase, they have the Chase Freedom Flex and they have the Chase the Chase Unlimited. Now, here's the interesting thing about the two. With the Chase Freedom Flex, they're usually going to pull your Experian primarily. Now, with the Chase Unlimited, they may pull your Experian FICO 8 or your Equifax FICO 8, okay? Now, for both of these cards, it's 15 months, zero interest on purchases and balance transfers for 15 months. Now, why am I starting with Chase? The reason that I'm starting with Chase is because Chase has this restriction, the 524 restriction. And so what that means is that for every 5 accounts, open revolving accounts, you cannot have 5 open revolving accounts cannot go over that 5 open revolving accounts within that 24-month period. Now, here's a key to that. If you have an authorized user, because they do not recognize authorized user and they try to count that authorized user against you, you can call them and have them to review your file. Okay, that's how you get around that 524. Or if you have a line of credit or a loan, they should not be counting those against your 524. It's just open revolving accounts, okay? So just remember that. If you're trying to get past that 524, again, with Chase, make sure that they're not counting your authorized users as well as your lines of credit and personal loans, okay? Now, that being said, the next credit card you want to look at is Citibank. Now, Citibank, they have the double cash and they have the diamond. Now, the difference between the two of those, with the Citi double cash, it starts at 0% for 18 months, pulling Experian. Now, with the Citi double cash, the Citi diamond, it's 21 months, zero interest on purchases and balance transfers, okay? Now, some of you all may be wondering about, well, what about the Citi Costco? Now, with the Citi Costco, they don't have this expanded time period of zero interest. However, the Citi Costco usually will pull your Equifax to get you approved, okay? Just so for some of you all to be aware of. Now, the next bank is PNC Bank. PNC Bank, they have the PNC Core, all right? Now, with the PNC Core, it's 15 months, zero interest on balance and transfer. They pull Experian, all right? Now, you also have Truist. With Truist Bank, they're 15 months, and they pull zero interest on balance transfers and purchases, and they pull Equifax. Now, interesting thing about it with PNC, they may give you multiple cards and just do a soft pull instead of a hard pull, okay? So when you're doing a pre-qual with them, they may do multiple cards and not get a hard pull, at least only the one hard pull, all right? So PNC is definitely one of those financial institutions you want to take a look at. Wow. Now, let's move forward. Let's talk about Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo, they have the active cash. Now, Wells Fargo active cash credit card is 15 months, zero interest on balance transfers and purchases. However, Wells Fargo pulls Experian FICO 9. They don't use FICO 8. They use FICO 9, okay? Now, this is where the twist goes in at, because I told you about where Chase, Citibank, they don't recognize authorized users using FICO 8. But with FICO 9, you can use authorized users to build up your credit file. You can use subscriptions. You can use rental payments, as well as utility bills to help build up your FICO 9 credit file in order to get approved, okay? So that's one of the things that I like about FICO 9. And I try to find cards that actually use FICO 9 because I know it's easier to work with. Now, the next card we're talking about is U.S. Bank. U.S. Bank has a couple of them. They have the U.S. Bank Platinum and they have the U.S. Bank Cash Reward. Now, with the Platinum, I know it's 18 months, 0 interest on purchases and balance transfer. However, they pull TransUnion FICO 9, usually on the West Coast region, and then on the East Coast region, they may pull Equifax FICO 9, just so that you guys are aware of that. Now, there's two key elements in terms of I know you want to talk about what are the limits and stuff like that. Here's the thing about it. With a lot of financial institutions, two things that would trigger in terms of getting a higher limit. If you have a credit file over 4 years, you have a higher chance of getting more capital from that financial institution, okay? Also, a low DTI, debt to income ratio. And that's very important because most of these lenders that we're talking about, their debt to income ratio maxes out at 55%. All right. Now, even if you have an 800 credit score, if you have a high DTI, they still may not approve you. So that's something that you really need to be aware of when dealing with these type of creditors and stuff. The thing about it, they do offer higher limit credit cards. All right. Now, that's not to say that your credit unions and your community banks doesn't offer the same. However, in terms of for us getting a long-term interest, 0 interest on balance transfer and purchases, these are some of the best banks that you want to go to. All right. Now, again, going back to Bank of America, Bank of America has the unlimited. Okay, with the unlimited, Bank of America is 0% on balance transfers and purchases for 18 months. All right, and again, it pulls Experian FICO 8. Then you also have Discover. Now with Discover, it's the Discover It miles, and they're going to pull your Experian usually 18 months on 0% purchases and balance transfer. Now the next one is American Express, all right? And the reason I like American Express, again, because once you're in American Express's system, then you're able to apply for multiple credit cards without getting that hard inquiry over and over and over. So once you have an account with them that's open and stuff like that, they also have that pre-qualification where you don't even have to be a member of American Express in order to do pre-qualified to see if you actually qualify for a card. Now, in those terms, the American Express Blue Cash Every Day is the card you want to go after if you're trying to start your own bank, because it's 0% interest on balance and transfer for 15 months. Okay, now these are the major banks that you actually want to take a look at in terms of if you're trying to start your own bank. All right, now I'm going to make a future video talking about the best credit union credit cards, because I know some of you all are with credit unions and stuff like that. But at the same time, the reason that you want to go after these here major banks, again, unfortunately, with their DTI, again, is 55%. Average credit score for most of these cards are usually about a 680 or higher credit score. That's the reason I threw in a couple FICO 9s, because it's much easier, which is with your Wells Fargo and your U.S. Bank. Now, if you have any other questions about business credit funding, personal credit funding, click the link in the description. Schedule a one-on-one consultation. Thank you.